and welcome to the Grainaig Creations podcast. This is episode 65. My name is Kirsty and I'm coming to you from the west coast of Scotland, where we were meant to get a heat wave and instead we got tons of clouds. So yeah, who likes my hair? It's the 1st of August and I can't quite believe those words just came out of my mouth because it does not feel like we should be in August already, but here we are. So this podcast might be a bit all over the place. I have no finished objects to share with you whatsoever. I have a half finished object or a whole, and I just have a ton of works in progress. So yeah, let's jump in. Let's see, I'll just get this one out of the way. This is my granny stripe crochet blanket. Words totally escape me. I'm keeping it in my Fluff Hunter bag, but I am going to have to get a bigger bag soon because we are almost at capacity. Let's not unravel the yarn. Okay, so I worked on this, what felt like a lot, last Sunday. But when you look at it, it probably doesn't look like it's growing that much. So I'm just gonna hold it so it's smaller. I see where the stitch marker is, that's where I last showed you, and I think it worked out about 12 rows. Yeah, 12 rows that I have popped on from where the stitch marker is there. I actually finished my magic knot ball and I didn't have much left, but the lovely Helen of Giddy Yarns came to my rescue and sent me 4 balls, and I've managed to put that with the scraps I did have, which wasn't very much, and I now have a new magic knot ball, which I'm really happy about, and I'm hoping I'll get at least at least another 10 rows out of this, maybe a wee bit more, because it's quite a long row. This is wide enough for a double bed. No, it's not. It's wide enough for a king size bed. So the rows are quite long. And also we all know crochet eats yarn like nobody's business. So this is folded over a couple of times. I have shown the width off as best I can on the podcast before, so you might need to jump back a few episodes. But I'm pretty pleased with it. It's now a fair decent depth, but nowhere near the size I would like for a bed. So I think it's just going to be one of those projects that unfortunately is going to linger for quite a while until I get the right type of yarn. Because this is all mostly Opal yarn that's in here, or yarn that feels very much like Opal. And if that doesn't really make much sense, it's Opal has quite a distinguishable feel compared to, say, the likes of indie dyed yarn. You can really feel the wool content in it, and I love that about Opal yarn, and that's the yarn type that I'm putting into this blanket. I have nothing against indie dyed yarn. I used to dye yarn myself, so I've got nothing against it. It's just for this blanket, I want this type of yarn specifically in this blanket. So yeah, it's going to be a long-standing project because I don't have that much left in the way of yarn, and I would like it to cover a king-size bed, but we'll see. So for anyone wondering, I am doing that on a 3.5mm clover hook. It's one of my preferred hooks. I quite like the hook design. So yeah, that's that one. Just going to go on the floor. I've not got much space up here, and this is a big desk. The next one I'm going to show off is in the bag I showed off last time. This is the bag Socanjo. So casual. I keep wanting to say bags by Joe, but it's not, it's so casual. So in here I have quite a lot of stuff. I love this bag, and I was meant to go to Scots this weekend, and I'm not going to go into reasons why not. It's nothing bad, nothing between he and I just wasn't feeling 100% this weekend. So in here, I'll show these a wee bit later on, but in here I have one sock blank, sock tube with a ball of yarn, another sock tube, two socks that have need heels in them, which were a sock tube, and what I was wanting to show you is my Love Note sweater. So I think that's quite a true colour. Every time I take a picture, the colour is not exactly what it should be. I think it's just the type of yarn. But I have made a fair amount of progress. I'm trying to decide... Oh, I'm going to make the bag full. I'm trying to decide if this is the type of length I would want, because that's falling at my natural waist. But I'm not sure how the neck's going to go. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this on holders, and then I'm going to do the neck, and then I'm going to try it on. And the reason I want to do that is because I want a cropped version for my first one. I'm thinking of making maybe like 2 or 3 of these with different styles. So one that's maybe got a longer body with longer sleeves, because I think for this one I'm going to do the 3/4 length sleeves. But I think I quite like the length of this just now, but I'm not sure what's going to happen with the neck. I know it's going to be pulled in just a wee bit more, but I don't know if that's going to give it more length by pulling it in, or whether it's actually going to take length out. So I'm really not sure. But that is my Love Note. It has had a fair amount of progress on it. Last time you guys seen it, I hadn't even split for the sleeves yet. It was around about here. So sleeves have been split, and I'd say about 4, maybe 5 inches put on the body. So I'm really, really happy with it. I'm a wee bit worried holding it up and onto my body that the mohair might be too much for me. I'm hoping not. And I can always put a long sleeve top under it, which would completely kind of take away from it. I don't know. We'll see. I should have thought about the mohair before I cast on, but hindsight and all that jazz. And a reminder for the yarn I'm using Holst Garn in the Supersoft, and I'm also using Rowan Kid Silk Haze. And those are being held together, so that's a fingering and a lace weight. Right, I'm not going to throw that bag anymore because I need to put stuff back in it. Okay, so I have quite a few sock projects on the go at the moment, because I got a smaller cylinder for my Ashcroft Makers 3D printed sock machine, and I went crazy. I decided to crank out a whole ton of tubes for my mum that'll be for her Christmas, and I've just been in sock mode the whole time, which is good, but it means a few of my other projects have fallen to the wayside. One of them I will show after all the socks. So the first socks I'm going to show are these ones. These were the first pair that I cranked out on the 72 needle cylinder, so this is the bigger cylinder, and these are now going to be for Scott because they're way too wide for my mum and I. I could probably see if they would fit my dad, but he doesn't really do wool socks, especially this type. So this is the yarn that kind of feels quite like Opal. That's because this is Opal. I get so confused with all the yarn that I've cranked out. So this was an opal ball that Joe sent to me really kindly with the bag. So this is opal yarn, so any scraps I have from that will be going into my blanket. So these are going to be for Scott, and all they need now is a heel. And possibly today when he comes down I will try and size it and get the heel put in this week. If not, it will need to wait until next week when he's down again. It is a bit of a test run because we don't know how Scott is with hand knit socks. I've never made him socks before. And it's because he goes through so many pairs of socks. No matter what he does, he always puts a big massive hole in them. We don't know how, we don't know why. So part of me doesn't really want to spend a whole bunch of time knitting a pair of socks for them just to get a big massive hole in them. And yes, I know I could darn them, but that's not the point. So this is a test run to see how well they wear on him, but it's also going to be a test run for me putting in a true afterthought heel. Never done it before, ever. So I'm a little bit nervous, but I can always crank him out another tube. And if you can see my eye twitching, I apologise if that is a distraction because it feels like a massive distraction for me. Oh, it's been twitching for months now. So I have two. I have the ball in one of them. Two finished. Well, I say finished. Finished with heels and cuff. No, toes and cuff. Toes and cuff. But I think I measured them wrong because one is ever so slightly longer than the other. So I have told him that and he's just like, yeah, I don't care. I think I done something different in the toe because one of the toes is definitely longer than the other. But I really don't know what I done, like what I've done differently. I maybe put in maybe an extra knit round, I'm not sure. But it is what it is, it's done and he knows about it, so I'll just need to remind him if he says anything. But they almost match. If you hold them up at the cuff and not the toe, they match. And that was not planned at all. So yeah, these just need heels. And I do have leftovers to put the heels in. I don't really care for whether they match heels or whether I've got a different colour or not, but I just held the yarn back to put them in to begin with. So yeah, that's the first sock. The second sock it's still a big tube, I haven't cut it yet, but I do have one cuff in and I have the other end on needles. But I'm trying to figure out whether I'm going to try and keep the yarn going in one direction. So I'm trying to decide whether when I cut in I'm going to put the cuff here or whether I should just put the cuff in here and have them going in different directions. I think that still looks pretty cool. But these are from my mum, so I'm going to ask her, but she'll probably just say I don't care, to be perfectly honest. And I don't think that looks too bad. You know they're still the same yarn, but I don't know whether she's going to want them to go, yeah, I don't know, like in the same direction, like have semi-matching socks. I need to talk to her, but she's having a nap just now, but part of me knows she won't really care. So that's the other one. I have another. I'll show the other ones I haven't touched yet later. I have two other sock projects. So this is my half finished object. This is the one you guys seen 2 weeks ago, but it now has a heel. And then I have the next one up to the point where I've put in waste yarn, just that wee line of grey, where I've put in waste yarn for the next one. And Scott and I are about to go a drive down to Largs, well, back up to the nearest Starbucks, grab a drink at Starbucks, and then we're going to go the long way around to Largs and then back around here where he's going to drop me off. So yeah, this will be my car knitting, and this is, okay, oh my head's not screwed on. This was me knitting Woll Butt, which, Woll Butt, sorry, so that one, and then this one is Woll Butt as well. So this is the colourway name down here, and this is the brand. But for anyone that needs to know, the numbers are 81806 and also 615930. Okay, so that will hopefully get a fair amount of work done on it today. My mojo is kind of gone a wee bit downhill, so we'll see. And then, I know, more sock knitting. Right. So, I got the first one done for my mum, that you all know about. The next one's in a bit of a timeout, because I don't know what I've done wrong. I counted the heel flap rows against the heel flap rows done on this one, so apparently I done 20 rows for my partridge stitch heel. Apparently I done 20 rows, I've counted it, and I've done 20 rows on this one, but when I've picked up the stitches I've picked up 22. So I don't know what I've done differently. So I might rip the whole thing back out, not the whole sock, just the heel flap, and do it again, because I've clearly done something wrong and I can't figure it, for the life of me, figure it out. But to be fair, every time I've sat down to try and figure it out, it's been on a work call. So I don't really have the brain capacity to work out a knitting thing and also pay attention to a work call. Not my finest moment of thought process. Sorry, I'm just gonna have some iced tea. That's lovely. Mango. So, I don't know what I've done wrong. I genuinely have no clue what I've done wrong. But I've counted this several times and there are 20 rows. I have counted this several times and there are 20 rows. And yet I'm picking up 22 stitches when I know for a fact I only picked up 20 here. How can you knit 20 rows but pick up 22 stitches? Unless I'm just being really, really dim and it's something stupidly obvious, which could be the case. But I want to get them finished, and Mum keeps kind of coming in and eyeing up the fact they haven't had any progress done at all. I'll get there. I will get there. Okay, so may as well just show you all the sock tubes I've cranked. So this is another one. These are all from my mum. And this is an Opal yarn. And again, haven't decided whether I'm going to just cut the middle and then do them as they are, or whether I'm going to try and do some sort of matching. It's going to be a wee bit more difficult on this one because of where the start and the stop is, so I'll probably just go with it and not try and match them. I'm not sure. That's one of them. I really quite like how that's striped up. And then the next one's a bit of a beast. And we'll just go through it. So this one here is also an Opal yarn. This is the other ball of Opal that Joe was very kind enough to send me. This goes into another Woll Butt yarn, which then keeps going into another Woll Butt yarn. So I've made one long scarf. I don't want to flatten my curls. Yep, I made one long scarf and my mum decided to be like, Doctor Who scarf. Well, not quite. but it did give me an idea that I could crank out some big double thick layered scarves on the 72 stitch cylinder, and they'd be perfect for winter. Or I could just do like a big scrappy project. So it opens up a whole new level of things I hadn't thought to do. So yeah, so this is the Opal, and this is the next. This is quite a delicate yarn to me, and I've cranked. These are all 50 grams of the yarn, which is fantastic. Like that's definitely a good, because that, like, I would do contrasting heels and toes. I'm not ripping back and re-knitting toes. And then I reckon for my mum the heel would go there, so that still gives you a good length sock, and it still leaves 50 grams for me. And the reason I haven't done any for myself is because I need to make the tension just a little bit tighter for my socks. So again, that's a double dab, so that's a really good length for only 50 grams. And then this is the last one. I'm just trying to mark it against where the scrap yarn starts and the actual yarn begins. So yeah, these are all really good lengths for only 50 grams of yarn. So I feel like this is fantastic, and it's going to really do me a world of good. But it also means that I need to take it a bit easy, because you could just go like crazy cranking out everything and then just work on like one by one slowly. But I know if I was just to spend ages cranking out tubes, I would really do my shoulder in. But the machine's really great in the sense that you can use it regardless of what hand you are. Like whether you're right-handed or whether you're left-handed. So I actually tend to do, like, say a couple of minutes using my right hand, and then I'll change and I'll do a couple of minutes with my left hand. So it's really great in that aspect. And I really enjoy it. I think it's one of the best things I've bought. One of my clamps did break, and I contacted the company and I asked, like, do you do a replacement or is this covered under the warranty? And they got back to me so fast, and it was covered under the warranty. So within 2 days, I think it was, I had a replacement clamp, and that's when I just kind of went to town and just cranked all of these out. So yeah, that will keep me a fair amount of busy. And all these yarns are, like, apart from obviously the Opal ones, but all the other ones feel like Opal. So any scraps I have left over, which to be fair won't be very much with the yarns I've cranked 50 grams of, because the other 50 will be for me. But all the other ones that I cranked out, not really holding 50 grams back, for me, I should have leftovers, and I should be able to put them in my blanket. Fingers crossed. So this is housing some leftover yarn, or I think it's actually one of the leftover 50 grams, and it's also housing all my sock blanks at the moment. Just so I can keep everything in one place and it's not just sitting around my room. So yeah, that's all my sock blanks. And then, I can't believe I put them over there and I've got the bag on my lap. So then my last project to show off hasn't had a lot of progress done on it, and it's for no other reason than some other things that have been really taking my interest. So this is the summer top I've been making in the Isabella DK from Sublime, and it's a Sublime pattern as well. So I've cast on for the body, believe it or not, like this is the body, which isn't too long, but the sleeves are very deep. The sleeves are very, very deep. Getting tangled in yarn. So it's going to be a decent length, but also might not be too long for me. We'll see. We'll go with it. But yeah, it's not really had a ton of work done on it. I guess I really wasn't in the mood for purling. I really want to work on my Love Note sweater. It's really got my heart just now. And then I decided that I can't crank out all the socks until I actually get some socks finished. So then I went in a sock kick. And then I lost my mojo. I was saying earlier that I was meant to go to Scott's and then I just really wasn't feeling too good, and that was Thursday night, and Friday night I just started getting really bad headaches, and it was one of those headaches that tablets weren't touching, and I don't know if I've just overworked myself, so I've done 10 hours extra above and beyond my shift in the last 2 weeks. So I'm 35 hours a week, so I've done 40 hours each week, which isn't a lot. I know there's people out there that do a lot more than me every day, but I'm one of those people that I do need rest. I need to rest and recuperate, and yeah, I think it just really hit me yesterday, and then I just felt naff, absolutely naff. I'm going to stop the clip because I get 3 minutes left, and I'm going to hit the next one, and I'm going to talk about all the yarn that I've bought recently, which looks like a lot, but one of the purchases was today, and they are for a reason. Two of the things I'm going to show off I bought maybe about a month and a half ago, and I just forgot to show them off, and I want to show them off because I really like the dyer. And then the other ones I bought I talked about last week, but I now have them to show off. So, 2 seconds. And we're back. So, I'll start with the ones I bought today. So because I have the sock machine, and because I'm going to be doing contrasting heels, toes and cuffs, I kind of wanted to keep the heels, toes and cuffs in solid colours. And I was in my LYS today, which for those that might not know that acronym, it is local yarn shop, and I really love supporting Mary. She's been so good to me and I want to support her in return, so I bought these. I love West Yorkshire spinners. I am not one to hide away from that matter or not say that I don't like them. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I like West Yorkshire spinners, and I bought these for heels, toes and cuffs. So I've got it in a very pale grey. I thought it was purple, and it does look purple on camera, but it's very much in between pink and purple, like a pale pink and a pale purple. I'll go with purple. And then this is very much a really beautiful peachy orange, and it's showing fairly true to colour on the camera. So I'm not sure which of these numbers is the colourway, but we'll go with 281, 281, 517 and 129. So that I got them from my LYS today, and I also got these from my LYS. It's a puffin knitting. That's one of them. And then this is the next one. Incoming yarn! Oh, I freaking love these. She had them up on her Instagram and I was just like, I need them. Okay, so the yarn that I bought a while ago that I didn't show off, because I think I just put it away and then I was just like, hang on, why didn't I show that off? So I love Daniel's sock sets. So this is Opal Yarn Company. This is the Smoke sock set. So this is the 50 gram skein. And then these are the 2 minis. And then I also got the Little Pumpkin set. So that's the 50 gram there. So I fell in love with this one when he put it up on his Instagram, and I was like, mine. Something's telling me I've talked about this, even though I was so sure I hadn't. Oh well, you've seen them again. And then these are the two beautiful minis. So once I've got my sock machine set up for the gauge for me, and I ran through a couple of yarns to make sure it is the right gauge for me, I'm going to start cranking out my indie dyed sock yarn, and I can't wait. I think it's going to be brilliant. But yeah, these are the two I got from Opal Yarn Company. And you can find Daniel on Instagram, and he also has his own website. And then the ones I talked about, oh that's very loud. The ones I talked about last week are the Giddy Yarns minis. So this is the Winnie the Pooh minis. I love it. So I'm going to go with that one's Winnie the Pooh. This one's Eeyore. Piglet? Oh, I don't know. That one's definitely Eeyore, which is my favourite. And that one's definitely Winnie the Pooh. This one here. Oh, I'm not sure now. Helen, I'm sorry. That one's maybe Piglet? Oh, I don't know. And then this set, which I absolutely adore, is All the Fun of the Fun Fair. If she had help with her kids picking these colourways, like she asked her kids, what's the first thing you think of when you go to the fun fair? And the kids helped with what they thought, and these are the minis, and I absolutely adore them. They just make me happy. Can't remember which all of them is, but that one's cotton candy. I think that one's toffee apple. Helter Skelter. And I can't remember the other two. I did know them, but now I don't. And then lastly, and these are very, very crinkly packages, but so worth it. This is just a rainbow sparkle set. I don't know if you can see the sparkle, but this is from Knit Me Sane. Oh, so crinkly. And then this is their magical set as well. Oh, there you go. There's the least amount of glare. And this is also a sparkle set. I just love them. I love them so much. And then I guess I should show these off. My mum picked these up for me. I plan on making a wee crochet item for my friend's nephew. I've made something for her two nieces. I have made something for one of her daughters. I have made something for her son who is expecting. I have not made for her nephew. So I asked her what her nephew's favourite colour was and what his favourite animal is. I actually plan on putting together, like making up the pattern, and once it's ready I'm going to put it on my blog. So these are the two colours. I would be really curious to see if anyone can guess what animal he might want. So if you want to have a guess, pop your suggestion down in the comments, and if you like the finished result and you get the answer correct, I might make you one as a gift. So yeah, I just really like this purple. This is really gorgeous purple. And they're both DK, so I love doing amigurumi and DK. So I'll be working on that. Oh, I've got such an itch. I'll be working on that in the coming weeks. So I'm quite excited. And hopefully he likes it. He's got no idea it's coming. I wanted it to be a surprise, but I don't know how she kind of answered, like when if he asked why, like why are you asking my favourite colour in animal? I'm not sure like if she told him anything or whether it is going to be a surprise. So it'll be quite interesting to see. But I think that's everything. I don't have any other knitting to show you. I just wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone that has shopped my closing down sale. There are still some items in the shop. I don't want to close the Etsy shop down whilst there's still so much stock. There's over 40 things in there. So I might have a wee think and see. I think I'm going to put it on holiday mode though for a while just so I don't have to worry about it. But yeah, the money from that sale went towards getting me a new laptop because I smashed the screen on my current laptop. I smashed it on a bobby pin. By bobby pin I mean like a hair slide. Bobby pin is mostly how they say it in America. Kirby grip would be what we would say here, but I quite like bobby pin. So yeah, I smashed the screen on a bobby pin, which I'm not quite happy about. I've been keeping there's two magnetic strips on the base of my laptop. Now I've been keeping a darning needle, multiple stitch markers and a bobby pin on the bottom of my laptop for over a year now with no issues whatsoever. And then one day the bobby pin was facing up, so the rounded bit at the top was facing up. And unknown to me, when I've closed my laptop over, the curve on that bobby pin had contact with the glass screen on my laptop and shattered. I say shattered up in the corner, but then impacted down a wee bit, but then it also impacted directly across the screen to an angle. And I know that eventually over time that will just disintegrate even worse. So I got a new laptop. So that's my house phone. Probably just another telephone person phoning and then not being anyone at the other line. Do you ever get that where someone phones you and there's nobody at the other end of the line? Where it's just like that automatic call person. So we don't answer it anymore. Yep, just went to the voicemail, not a person there. So yeah, Scott should be here anytime soon, and then we're going to go up to Starbucks, and we were going to go drive down to Lars, but look at the weather, it's not actually going to be too nice. I don't know, might do a weather check before we do. I'm just looking at the clouds and they look like storm clouds. We're definitely in for some rain. Just funny, like the forecast said everyone in the UK was in for a heat wave. No, definitely not. But yeah, I have nothing else to add really. If I was, it would just be blathering for the sake of blathering. So I'm gonna go and I will see you in another 2 weeks time. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the podcast, please hit the thumbs up button and please hit the subscribe button as well. Bye!